Two of my favorite people, which are my parents. And it's not always been the easiest ride for me. Throughout especially my teenage years, I was kind of angsty. And I didn't trust my parents with a lot of things. And that was really hard. But several of the pressures that I put on myself, I thought they had put on me. And because of that, I wasn't thankful sometimes for, I guess, their unconditional love, because the way I saw it was that they wanted me to do all these things. And I guess one of those things that I thought they always wanted me to do was to have a successful career or whatever and get to the next step. I think many of you guys can relate to that because we're at Duke and we gotta thank our parents for that sometimes because of all that pressure. And it's a real thing, and I don't want to deny it. And so, coming to college, I have been hearing a lot of people talking about what they're going to do with their next step. And it's very, very tough for me because I've always wanted to grow up to be a concert pianist and or do something crazy in this world, but not something normal. And so, I don't know what I want to do with my life because I'm just too young to know, I think, sometimes. And so, last week of break, I came home to my parents and I told them, hey, Mom, Dad, I actually really don't know what I want to do with my life. At that point, I'd already gone way too far into engineering, at least in Duke, to come back out of it. So, I was in a tough spot. I considered switching to a music major this early spring. Didn't have enough credits to do it, so had to stick with engineering. But in that process also, what was I going to do this summer? And what would the summer look like for me? How would that bring me to my next step when I don't even know what my next step was? So my parents have been a little bit on my back about this. During winter break, my mom told me to apply to like 40 internships, something that I couldn't do. I did 20. Which is still pretty good in my mind. I ended up getting two choices. One was a startup in Charlotte called LP Amina, and the other was with Wycliffe Bible Translators. And I went pretty far in both of these rounds. At the end, LP Amina rejected me at the last moment, and Wycliffe accepted me. And I had 2 weeks to decide whether or not I wanted to stick with Wycliffe. And so I talked to my parents, and I guess it was very difficult for me because my mom was trying to think of certain reasons to stop me from going to Wycliffe because it's not quite the conventional path that many would take. And so I felt like I didn't have necessarily my parents' entire blessing going into the Wycliffe internship. So making that decision was even more tough, especially since it's hard to tell people around campus that, hey, I'm going to go work at Wycliffe this summer, because I don't even know what I'm doing right now. So if any of you get support letters from me, it's kind of vague for a reason. So it was the day before I had to decide, and I had a good conversation, I think with one of my friends, I forgot which one, I'm sorry, whoever that was, and I decided that I was going to take the Wycliffe job, because I didn't see anything else there, so I decided, why not try that? There can't be anything wrong with that. So I emailed my parents, and I told them, after thinking for 2 to 3 weeks, I've decided I'm going to take the Wycliffe job. With a little bit of hesitation, knowing that they might not respond the way I think they would. In class the next day, I get a text, and I text in class, so I picked up my phone, I looked at my phone, and I got a text from my mom. She says, Daddy and I have been praying for you about this for the last 8 months. You can move forward with our blessing. And then the text that says, I love you. And I think it's not just cool that she said I love you, but that she has demonstrated for the last 8 months that she loves me by praying for me. And I'm very far away from my parents. They're in California, but one tradition they have for all their kids is that they pray from 9 to 10, and my dad is very grumpy at night, so this is like a big deal for him. They pray from 9 to 10 for the children, including me. And being so far away, it's just wonderful to know that at that time of day, which is like midnight for me, when I'm like the most stressed, right, that two people over there are praying for me, watching over me. And so I wanted to read this verse because it reminds me of my parents, but also reminds me of God. And it happens to be verse 3 and 4 from Psalm 121. It says, "He will not let your foot slip. He who watches over you will not slumber." That's my dad and God. "Indeed, he who watches over Israel will neither slumber nor sleep." And what that reminds me of is not only are my parents praying for me, but their faith is to God. And if God has been hearing their prayers for so long, I think I'm being watched over. And I think that the actions that I do, even if they're wrong, will be fixed right away. Because I worship a God that neither slumbers nor sleeps. And my parents just get to be someone who reminds me of that. So that's my sharing for today.